What's on, everybody? It's Aaron Cates. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. You guys know I normally do like detailed product reviews or truck related things. My truck right here in the background. It's a 2004 Chevy Silverado. If you're interested in anything, I want you to go check out the other videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I live in Florida, if you're new here and you don't already know that. And right now we're not in hurricane warning yet, but there's a hurricane that is supposed to land here sometime Monday or Tuesday of next week, which is the beginning of September. And everyone's freaking out right now. Water's running dry, gas is running dry. Of course, everyone's in a panic. See all these memes on Facebook about Floridians not freaking out. A lot of us don't freak out, and then other ones take it full panic mode. But most of the ones that take it into full panic mode aren't from here. So I have a little 2,000 watt generator that normally runs the fridge and maybe a fan if we're home. My girlfriend and I, she's a nurse, and I work for the local road department for the county that I live in. So I'm first response for hurricane cleanup, and she is first response as a nurse. The second the storm passes, we both get called out, and we're at work the whole time. I want to make sure I have something to run my fridge, one, so none of my food goes bad, none of anything in the freezer goes bad, anything like that. Problem is, when Irma came about 2 years ago, I ran this generator, and I shut the fuel off, but I didn't drain the gas tank, and I haven't ran it since. So odds are, carburetor probably still needs to be cleaned, and the gas tank needs to be cleaned out. Being that it was 2 years ago, I don't really remember if I ran it out of fuel. I know the fuel shutoff is off, so I'm hoping I ran it out of fuel. But I know a fuel line broke within the last 2 years, because while it was sitting, a puddle of fuel came up underneath it, and my guess is that a fuel line got old and dry rotted and cracked. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to show you, one, how to clean a carburetor, and two, how to clean a gas tank and what to do if you have a generator, really any 2-stroke or 4-stroke motor that has been sitting and will not run, because 9 times out of 10 it's carburetor related. Now, it's not always, don't hold me on that, but 9 times out of 10 it's carburetor related, and a lot of people don't know how to do this, which is why I'm making this video. Let's jump right in. Okay, so here is my generator. It's a Briggs & Stratton motor. It's a Honda generator. It is a 2,000 watt, and it's been sitting for about 2 years. So I'm hoping that I don't need a new carburetor kit, because that's what you'll need most of the time if it's been sitting for a long time. I'm hoping I can just get away with cleaning it with carburetor cleaner and some basic hand tools. Now, you'll see a lot of videos online of people who clean carburetors, and that's all they do. When something has been sitting, the gas goes bad in it. So you don't want to clean a carburetor and then put bad gas right back into it. So what you want to do is, one, pull the carburetor, and two, pull the gas tank. Clean out the gas tank with carb cleaner. Run some good gas through it, get some of the old gas out, and get it cleaned so no junk gas or trash goes into your carburetor. And I'm going to show you guys me pulling the carburetor out and me pulling the gas tank off. So let's get into this. Okay, one, when you're dealing with old gas, always wear gloves. If you guys are returning to this channel and you've been here before, you know when I work on things, I don't normally put gloves on. But getting the old gas smell off of your hands is one of the biggest pains in the world. So it's just easier to put gloves on than it would be to not. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take the air filter cover off. Which is just a normal flathead. And here is your air filter. Now, these can look worse and they can look better. This one's not too bad, so I'm not going to worry about it. Next step, you want to take off these little nuts right here. Make sure to keep track of all the parts you take off. what I like to do is set whatever nuts and bolts I take off. I like to set them in the air filter cover box. That way they're kind of confined to an area. So I can already tell you now, I got the wrong fuel line, but maybe the fuel line didn't crack and something else cracked. I'm just gonna hope, right? So I'm gonna take off the old fuel line, which can sometimes be a pain, which is why you want to have a set of pliers. And it ended up not needing to take the fuel line off to get the carburetor off, but I'm still going to have to fight with the fuel line to get it off because it does not want to come off. Okay, fuel line is off. Now what you want to do is take this lower nut off the bottom of the bowl. This is called the bowl on the carburetor. The fuel comes in here, air comes in here. This is your choke. And you want to take this bowl out because this is where it usually gets all dirty. Bolt on this bowl is a 10mm. Now you want to make sure this isn't over top of you when you take this off, because if there is old gas in it, it will come out onto your hands or whatever is below it. Okay, so this is what is inside the bowl. Kind of looks like dirt, to be honest. Doesn't really look like gas. We're gonna clean this out. Now something else a lot of people don't tell you on YouTube about gaskets. Gaskets and carburetor cleaner do not mix well. It will dry out your gaskets and it will crack them. 9 times out of 10, if your carburetor has been sitting with gas in it, your gaskets are going to be ruined off the get-go and you'll want new gaskets in it. But if you're just doing a standard carburetor clean, say you got trash in it from bad gas or anything like that, pull your gaskets off or just keep carburetor cleaner off them. It's easier to pull them off, but if it's something that's stuck to it, then just try your best to avoid getting any type of gas on them. Now let's talk about the carburetor. This is called a float. This is what lets the carburetor get more gas or less gas. So since it's sitting like this when it's on the generator, when this float is all the way down, it allows more gas to come in through a jet right here. The gas comes in through the, whatever this is called, I'm drawing a blank. Gas comes in here and it comes through and comes out this hole, and there is a what's called a needle in there. I'll show that to you in a second. Now when it's full of gas, this comes up and closes off this hole so no more gas can come in and flood out the carburetor. Now when this is down, it allows more gas. So usually it'll vary back and forth. If this gets stuck, 9 times out of 10, your carburetor will be flooding out and it'll be getting too much gas, or it won't be getting any gas at all. To take this off, there's a little pin right here. You want to pull that out. See the pin? Pull that out. Set it somewhere where you're not going to lose it. And then pull the float out. That is the needle I was telling you about. Do not lose the needle. And there's the other jet. Down in this hole, there is a jet down in here that allows gas through. You're going to need some type of small flathead screwdriver to take it out. Not all carburetors will allow you to take it out. Some will. There's also a jet right here on the side. You need a screwdriver to take it out to get the jet down here out. And here is the jet out of the center. You'll see it has these little holes all along the sides, and there's a hole right down the middle. You'll want to clean all of those out to the best of your ability until you can somewhat see light through them. If you can see light, gas can come through them. So now I'm going to go through with carburetor cleaner, clean out all of these holes, the fuel line entrance. I'm going to spray off the outside of it, get it all cleaned up, and I'll show you guys that once I get it done. Okay, now the carburetor is all clean. You see, it looks a whole lot better. All the jets have been sprayed through. Now you want to reassemble it. So go in the exact order you did it before, but backwards basically. Now when it comes to the bowl, I like to let carburetor cleaner sit where the worst spots are while I'm working on the carburetor, So I've had carb cleaner sitting in here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spray it out. And oh, there we go. That's what it looks like now that I've got that done. Now you wanna reinstall your gasket and then reinstall this the way it was when you took it off. And now that your carburetor's done, we're gonna jump into taking the gas tank off. First, let me see if we can drain the gas out before I go pulling everything off. Okay, so I just finished my Mountain Dew. We're gonna stick the fuel line in that and turn the fuel on. Okay, so the fuel was on the whole time. Good to know. So what that gas looked like is probably, or what the inside of that carburetor looked like is probably what the gas looks like. What I like to do is spray carburetor cleaner inside the gas can, and I can see the carburetor cleaner coming through the fuel line right now. Now I'm going to grab some gas and dump it in there. I can hear it just pouring right into the Mountain Dew can. What I'm doing is I'm letting all the gas that I just put in there, I'm letting it drain out through the fuel line. Normally when you clean a carburetor, you want to replace the fuel line, clean out the gas tank. So the only step I'm not doing is changing the fuel line. I bought some fuel line, but I bought the wrong size. Now I could probably make this work and get away with it because it fits on there, but it's not a tight fit and it would probably leak. So I'm on a loss there. So I'm gonna try and get this to work for video purposes only. Normally you'd want to replace that fuel line. So I'm letting all the gas I just poured in there drain. Let's take a look and see what this gas looks like. Now I know the gas drained out of it prior to, but for the most part, wasn't too bad. I have seen a whole lot worse. So now what we want to do is reinstall the carburetor. Now you want to put it back on the way you pulled it off. You have these two choke controls right here. They go right on the choke itself, which is back in here. You want to reinstall them because you pull them off in order to take the carburetor off. So I'm going to get them reinstalled and then we'll continue from there. Now that they're reinstalled, you want to take your fuel line, put it back on. Okay, now the fuel line is back on. You want to reinstall the air box the way you took it off. You want to take the little nuts that you took off and try and get them back on. First with your hands so you know they're not cross-threaded, and then you can tighten them down the rest of the way. Let's fill it up with gas and see if it works before we put the air filter back on. Now you don't want to completely fill it up with gas, you just want to get just enough in there that it will run. So a little less than a gallon is fine, about half a gallon and you should be good. Now let's try and start it. Engine on, fuel is on. Let's put the gas cap back on. Turn choke on. Now that it started to fire up, I'm going to turn choke about halfway. Okay, now I'm walking away because I like to let it idle for about 2-3 minutes, let it get itself figured out, see if it wants to run or not. But that is all you have to do in order to clean a carburetor. It literally took me about 30-35 minutes, and that's with filming. So you guys can do it at home. Just takes a couple little hand tools, some carburetor cleaner, and some patience. That's all it takes. You see, during a hurricane or after a hurricane or months after a hurricane, all these people post their generators and everything for sale saying they don't run anymore. That's usually the case, is that they sat, got bad gas in them, got old or trash or anything in the carburetor, and are no longer running. It is such a super easy fix. I spent $5 on carburetor cleaner. I need a new fuel line, but I made that one work for the video. That's all you have to do, guys. It's super simple. So you hear the carburetor running in the background. The carburetor's running. The generator's running in the background. Generator's fixed. Now I can have power to my fridge during the hurricane. So thank you guys for watching. Remember, go down, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like this video. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.